We're probably gonna wrap this up any minute. How are we? It's mostly
50 minutes.
Oh, okay, perfect. So we'll go another like 10, 15. It's just mostly we want to make sure we're going to be meeting Wade today, and we got a whole social media team. We want to make sure it's done properly, and you never know with the rain here. But hey, the rain sometime is good. The mushrooms are coming. So, let's focus back on the psilocybin, and we had this discussion quite in depth back and forth. And I love the fact you're a voice note guy. Hans hates that I'm a voice note guy because it just makes conversation for me. I can't type out what I want to get out sometimes.
Oh yeah.
So we've gone back and forth about once you get the message, hang up. And I've explained to myself that with the psilocybin, I've gotten the message. I've seen that movie. Even though I'm passionate about it and I genuinely like to go foraging to service others and give it away for free, I've got that message. Can you speak on that on yourself? The message received from your entheogens, and now where are you at this certain place in your life?
I feel like a lot of it is to do with the extent of the trauma. So what is the extent of the childhood trauma? In many cases, if you had a relatively nice upbringing and things were cool and you had love in the family and things like that, maybe you have a little less work to do than someone, say, that was raped as a child by a family member. And so I feel that the process may take longer the more you're kind of working through. And you must be disciplined. You mustn't, but in my opinion, you must be disciplined in that you don't just take LSD every day, like you don't take mushrooms every day. Give some space for integration in between. But I think then when the process is over, or it's no longer required, because you require a medicine when you're sick. You don't require a medicine when you're not sick. And if you take the medicine when you're not sick, you're going to get sick, because that's just the way it works, right? And so I think you get to, I've been at points where I feel, no, I just don't need this. I'm going back to the same realization. So the same fundamental realization that, oh yes, it's all one. Yeah, you know this. Last time you got this message, whether you're working with DMT, very powerful, going back to the same, oh yeah, there's these interdimensional landscapes that you can hop from one to another, and there's these entities there that are going to greet you and talk with you and give you a download and say, use this in your life, but don't go and use it in your life. Don't keep hitting the DMT. And I've had friends that have fallen off the edge huge time, called me up and said, Ryan, the world's going to end. Like, it's coming. An asteroid is coming. The entities have told me, and I'm like, dude, it's not going to happen on this day. And that date comes around and you explain it's not, because you can fall off the edge. Yeah. So it's about using the medicine properly and identifying if you're going back to the same realization again and again, the same thing to work on again and again. That's your point where you don't need any more medicine. Hang up the phone, even if it's going to be temporarily. In the early days, I said I'd never hang up the phone, but that was the addict in me. I thought, this is my connection to source, my connection to self, my connection to love. But that was just a grab for power. It wasn't a grab for healing. And so the entheogens, working with them over many years, kicked my ass in the end. It's like, no, it's not about power. It's about how do you use it now in your life. And then you become like now I feel like I'm my own source of that. It's like, I get it. I get what we're doing here. We're the creators of our own reality. We are incarnations of the universe, living out our life. And some people are dealing with a lot more shit than others. And all you can do is do your best, and you'll fuck up many, many times.
Yeah, I think there's a famous guy, well, I guess he's famous in the social world, like Aubrey Marcus, and he started on it with Joe Rogan. And he kind of goes on and on about how he's doing ayahuasca trips every other week. I've been on an ayahuasca journey before, and I've met other people there as well that I've done ayahuasca 50 times. It's like, do you really need to do it that much? I haven't connected to that. Jumping a bit ahead into that, these guys like these social media influencers that are really pushing these ayahuasca trips and going to places like Coachella and Burning Man, and where it becomes this collaborative ayahuasca journey with 50 people in a cabin. What are your thoughts on that?
It's a money-making machine, for sure. It's a money-making machine. I'm for it because anything that gets addicts or people that are really suffering to the plant, to the medicines, the people don't matter, in my opinion, in this, unless you're going with proper shamans, you know, in the rainforest. The whole setup, I think it's like overly overbearing to me. I've only ever worked with entheogens alone, which when I've talked in the community is quite unique. I didn't meet many people that have only ever worked alone. But I think that if it's getting people the healing that they need, fine. But it's becoming a vast commercialization. There's a lot of uproar about it on social media. I think it's all noise. Like in the end, the plants are going to do what the plants do. And the plant is a far superior intelligence than a human is. That's why you can have no power over it. A shaman is not a powerful being. It's the plant, in my opinion. What does he say? Don't trust gurus, trust plants, you know. I think that people can look into their options of working alone, and I think that there should be some ethical guidelines to do to how much you actually charge for something and how big the group sizes are. But I think we're working that out as a collective. I think it's all being worked out, and I think there are a lot of companies with a lot of interests in this that want to find a way to patent and monetize it, and that's going to be interesting to see how that turns out. And what kind of society is that going to build in 200 years? A society where you've got drop-in shops for ayahuasca or 5-MeO-DMT. Like what kind of society is that really going to produce?
That's what I explained to you as well. Like if I've done the hero dose, but I was doing it like maybe once a year, and I never understood why people would want to do that in a room with anyone else. Like you go through your own emotions, it's kind of like if you went to a Thai massage parlor to get a real strong Thai massage and all the curtains were open and everyone else is screaming around you in pain as they're driving an elbow down your spine. I mean, I don't want you to watch me do that either. That's how I kind of compare it. And now for myself, I've also heard the message. And even the last time I did a hero dose on my own, I put the blindfold on, and I think 40 minutes or 30 minutes into it, I saw the circus show and everything coming together, and I know the message is coming. And I honestly took the blindfold off, and I'm like, I've seen this movie. Mm-hmm. And I went outside and I just enjoyed a walk instead, because there's a certain point where, again, once that message has been delivered, hang up the phone. If you enjoyed this content, we're doing 5 clips like this a week. If you want to watch the full podcast, click here.